Are these Valcambi Combi bars good for SHTF situations? We're going to explore this topic and more coming up. Hey everyone, welcome to Campbell's Coins. I'm a planner. I like to be prepared for things. One reason I stack precious metals like gold and silver is I see a collapse of our economic system coming. What kind of gold and silver do you buy for an economic collapse? There are various degrees of economic collapse, of course. It could be like 2008 where we saw an economic crash. Society was still functioning and civility was still operating at 100%. Or it could be a true economic collapse where there are food shortages, unrest in the streets, and the economy is in shambles. I like to prepare for both. We haven't seen a Mad Max level collapse here in the United States, at least for a prolonged period of time. Other areas of the world have seen this firsthand though. I never thought I would see in 2022 a city like Shanghai with people screaming from high-rises because they are starving.
这个是这个人的叫，好了，终于2万人，所有人都在叫，要命了，要命了！再这样弄下去，我跟你讲，真的要出事体了，操，麻烦了。
I never thought I would see an American president tell his citizens to expect food shortages. Especially not today.
With regard to food shortage, yes, we did talk about food shortages, and it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia; it's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well.
Just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean it won't happen. Step into fantasy world with me for a bit. Sorry to wake you from this fantasy. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Harbour Metals. Food shortages are not the only thing that we should be worried about. We have a war going on, supply chain issues, and green initiatives pushed by governments all over the world. These green energy initiatives require metals which are becoming more difficult to find, or we are being cut off from them due to conflicts. Electric cars, for example, use an estimated 160 pounds of copper per vehicle. A lack of mining with increased demand spells out shortages for metals needed for infrastructure here in the United States and around the globe. Basic infrastructure needs, not the enhanced infrastructure needed to move this country towards a green energy future. If the supply of metals doesn't increase with the demand, what happens to price? It goes up, way up in some cases. Mining of metals like copper is becoming more difficult, and we have to go into some regions of the world which are not exactly stable. Mines in less stable regions make it more dicey to actually bring these mined metals to the marketplace. This drives up the price of these metals. The answer is you actually have to find these metals in a more stable region of the world. Harbour Metals is located in Newfoundland, Canada, a stable region of the world bringing much needed metals to the marketplace. A mine in a stable region of the world is great, but it also has to have metals to actually mine. Harbour Metals is an exploration and development company focused on the York Harbor copper, zinc, silver, and cobalt project. This was a past-producing mine with newly discovered mineralized zones. They have drilled in 3 phases, and the results from just 2 of these phases has led to tremendous stock growth. Their stock is up over 300% since June 2021 and up over 100% in 2022 alone. The drilling results has also attracted wealthy investors like Sprott, who was an early investor and owns a 7% stake in the company. Rising metal prices coupled with new mineable areas are good signs for more stock growth. These drilling results show a great concentration of copper, cobalt, zinc, and even silver. I mentioned the 3 drilling phases. The first drilling phase consisted of 9 holes, confirming historic drilling results for known lens of massive and semi-massive sulfide mineralization. The second drilling phase included 29 holes. It was designed to test the strike and the depth extensions of most of the reported VMS mineralization. VMS deposits are known to encrust high levels of metals such as copper, zinc, and lead. This typically occurs at the ocean floor and is brought onto the surface through tectonic plate action. Phase 2 drilling yielded results of 2.7% copper, 9% zinc, almost 18 grams per ton silver, 0.25 grams per ton gold, and 164 grams per ton cobalt at a 25-meter depth. The third drilling phase is still processing. Supply disruptions and increased demand certainly contribute to rising prices. Does this mean to stack specific metals like copper or cobalt? For gold and silver, I say yes. I know a few stackers who stack copper now, but there are logistic issues and storage concerns when stacking physical copper. When you can't stack physical copper and you know the price is going to go up, one way to get into the market is to invest in copper producers before disruptions hit. If you're looking for more information on Harbour Metals, check out their website down in the description. Let's get back to the show. In this fantasy, we are in an SHTF situation. Are Valcambi Combi bars good for barter, payment, etc.? This question came from a new stacker wondering if these bars were worth buying. Valcambi makes an assortment of these combi bars ranging from 1 ounce to 100 grams. The 1 ounce bar is 10 10th ounce bars. The 5, 20, 50, and 100 gram bars are made up of 1 gram bars. All these bars can be broken apart by hand and separated. Each individual bar has the Valcambi symbol, the weight of the bar, and the fineness of the gold. All these bars are individually serialized. What sucks is each tiny gram isn't individually serialized with the number of the bar. It's stamped across multiple bars. So when you remove sections of gold from this stamped area, you can remove the serial number from the bar. These bars appear to be near perfect for bartering. Perfect breakaway pieces, each all weighing the same amount. No need to measure, calculate, or weigh. Need something? Break off a gram like a Kit Kat bar to pay for it. For the record, these are actually a lot of fun to play with. These bars have a thin separation between each row and column, and one can make various shapes folding along the creases. So are the Valcambi bars actually good for SHTF situations? I'm not saying yes, and I'm not saying no. I'm chalking this one up to a maybe with a lean towards no. I like buying things which have dual purpose, not just for a use for a singular instance. I can't use these gold grams outside this type of event. Opening the assay ruins its resale value for the whole bar. In an environment where the economy hasn't collapsed yet, like right now, it's really difficult to sell these pieces as singles unless you drop the price to near spot. You can currently buy assayed Valcambi gold grams off of Monument Metals for, I think, $80. On Atmex, the loose version from one of these bars goes for $88. Selling them private party just has not been an easy experience for me. Selling to an LCS, you'll definitely get less than spot for it. When I bought these 50 gram bars, I got them for around $62 a gram. I opened one up and tried selling them. Folks would not buy these for more than $65 a gram. When gold hit 2000 in August 2020, I could sell it for a little bit more, but it was still very little interest. On one hand, that's a good thing because I often say if you're only buying gold grams, get the ones in the assays. They retain their value a bit more. On the other hand, it sucks if you're trying to sell off these gold grams and nobody wants them. You might think because you're buying 50 or 100 grams of gold at once, you're actually getting a discount. That's a big nope. You're paying for a lot of convenience. While it's better than buying single gram bars totaling up to 50 grams, you're still paying a bit more than a 1 ounce bar or 50 or 100 gram bars. Buying this 50 gram breakaway sheet costs almost $145 more than buying a 50 gram gold bar. Back to my dual purpose comment. 10th ounce gold eagles, I can sell them now whenever I need it. And in an SHTF situation, I can also use them. The biggest thing you have to consider is a point that most people forget about. If we were in an SHTF situation, the value of gold would be much higher than it is right now. I don't believe one would be using these to barter for food and water. I don't believe people would be using gold for these instances. I think they will be using silver. If the value of gold rises, the value of silver will rise as well. A silver dime might not cost a whole lot right now, but it could cover small costs for you in that type of situation much better and raise fewer eyebrows than using gold. Imagine if you were using dirty looking silver coins for these bartering situations. You can explain away fairly easily why you have some junky looking silver. Oh, I found these on the ground. No big deal. How do you explain away that gold? It would be much harder and it would paint a more visible target on your back. For the Goldback fanboys out there, I'm going to tell you right now, Goldbacks will not be used. Do you want to know the simple reason why? Trust. Someone outside the stacking community knows a tiny amount about gold bars and gold coins. They don't know crap about some new technology where nano bits of gold are placed onto what amounts to plastic sheets. They know that gold is heavy. When they pick up one of these Goldback notes, they won't feel that heft. They can see that it has a weight and it says 24 karat gold, but there's zero ways for those individuals to test it. If a region or a town currently uses Goldbacks as a medium of exchange, transacting in them would be very possible in the future too. But if you're in Utah and you find yourself in an area like California, next to no one here knows about Goldbacks. They won't trust them. Apply that to the rest of the United States and or areas you reside in. What will people trust more? Whatever you think they will trust more, get those items. I just think you'd want to get items that would be applicable to multiple areas, not just your AO. A few people like to mock those bringing up this preparedness topic because they view it as doom pushing, fear mongering, or doom porn. I don't see it as pushing a fear message. I view it from the standpoint of seeing the writing on the wall and preparing yourself so you aren't a victim when it happens. I hope the things that I mentioned don't occur because if they did, it would affect billions of people. I was in the Boy Scouts and the motto during my time was be prepared. This doesn't mean live in fear. It means prepare for what you can to survive and thrive. Surviving and thriving can be very happy. I think the Valcambi Combi bars are a great idea. I just don't know how useful they could be in an SHTF situation, especially when one considers the rise in gold's value, as well as the target on one's back for transacting in gold. These bars have a very limited role, and unfortunately I just see them as a novelty. If you think I'm wrong on this front, please let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm always interested in aspects I haven't thought of yet. I'd like to thank Harbour Metals for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for more information about this company or have any questions at all, you can find their contacts and ticker symbols down in the description below. Your time is your most precious asset, and I appreciate you spending it here with me. If you're interested in other topics like this one, check out the other videos I have on my channel. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.